Did the White House, did the president do the right thing or not?
He absolutely did. He did exactly what he said he was going to do throughout the campaign. But more importantly, it's what he didn't do. He didn't ban people from 7 countries. I don't know if John McCain read the executive order. He might ought to do that, because those countries are not mentioned in the executive order. The only country mentioned is Syria. Where did that list of 7 come from? It came from the Obama administration dating back to 2011, signed into law, and I assume Senator McCain probably voted for this order that did name 7 countries in 2015 and reiterated in 2016. Bill, this whole thing is a speed bump, not a stop sign. But it is based on something the previous administration did. It's just that President Trump is getting a lot more attention for it, particularly from all the folks who are shedding big crocodile tears on the award shows out of Hollywood.
That was something else to watch last night. The implementation of it has taken a lot of heat from both sides, as you know, Governor. Now, Reince Priebus is saying, what are we going to do? Give him a 3-day heads-up warning? And if so, a terrorist would change his mode and exercise whatever they want to do within that 72-hour window. I don't know if that would happen or not, but that was the defense from Reince Priebus on Sunday. Should the implementation have been better communicated between government agencies and perhaps governments overseas?
You know, I think that's something that everybody can figure out. But in the meantime, what I do think is that Priebus is right. If you said, oh, by the way, in another 7 days, we're going to implement a policy. Well, for 7 days, you're going to have people flooding the borders and doing everything they can to get in, saying, you know, the window is closing. So the only way to implement something like this and be serious about it is to do it quickly and abruptly. That's exactly what the president did. I think that, again, the people who are screaming the loudest, they're lying about it, saying there's a Muslim ban. No, there's not. There isn't a Muslim ban. Or that Trump named 7 countries. They need to read the executive order. They obviously did not. And so once again, it's, I think, almost like a collaboration between a very either ignorant or deliberately lazy media that doesn't look into the facts before they report them, and people on the left who, if Donald Trump walked across water, they would say Donald Trump can't swim. They're never going to find anything good about what he does.
Another tweet he said this morning, I'm quoting here, there's nothing nice about searching for terrorists before they can enter our country. This was a big part of my campaign. Study the world, exclamation point. It was a big part of his campaign. And you could argue for his supporters, he's doing what he said for 1.5 years. So far, that seems to be the case. We will get another executive order, we're told, in about 1 hour and 10 minutes from now. That goes to regulations, perhaps. We await to see what that order says. Then tomorrow night, we're going to get a Supreme Court justice. How big of a fight is America in for when we see the name announced in prime time Tuesday night, Governor?
Well, I think he could name Jesus Christ to be the Supreme Court nominee, and he'd still have a fight. Let's just be very clear, Bill. This is not about who he appoints or what he does. This is about what the Democrats have decided to dig in their heels and to engage in what they're calling total resistance. Resist everything. I think it's going to backfire on him. People elected Donald Trump to be president, and as far as things like this immigration order, look, I think people would rather see a few folks, you mentioned 109 inconvenienced for a few hours, than they had to see a big long line of body bags and toe tags from people who were killed by terrorism. We don't want to become like the rest of the world, specifically Europe. We don't even want to become like America has been, where we're vulnerable to these attacks. I think a lot of Americans are saying, thank God Donald Trump is doing what he said he was going to do. That's why we elected him.